Yeah, I think that's a great question, and I think you hit on it right there right now. We're looking for a player. We're looking for someone who understands the game at a really high level, has a good soccer IQ, who plays at a high level as well, in that club field. And then coupled with that, we're looking for someone who has good character, who, and I know I touched on this before, but that fits into our culture. And we look for that. And how do you respect your teammates when you're playing? How do you respect your coach? How do you respect your parents when you're in this office when we have you on campus? And things along those lines. But yeah, right now, we need athletes who understand the game and are versatile, who could be an outside back, outside forward, who could be a center mid, a center forward, really anything. Because we need to raise that level of the understanding of soccer to be, because soccer has no timeouts, so we need our athletes to be able to understand how to make those changes. So yeah, we're looking more at specific like players more than positions themselves.
Mm-hmm. All right. So now that, what would you say when you're looking at high school, and you've been doing Denison, you've sort of done all levels, let's say. And it's interesting because I was sort of put in my place earlier about asking this sort of question, and it was a good thing. What when you're talking to high school prospects, well, because I said, what do they lack? And I was told they're not lacking. They just never been to this next level.
Yeah.
And that's total. And I was like, huh, it's like, oh my gosh, I've only been playing this game for 40 some odd years, and it's the first time I realized that. What are those things where you think players are at from a soccer perspective that they either don't realize or that they have to come to expect when they make that jump?
Yeah. I think the biggest transition for any athlete is speed of play and kind of the physicality and what it takes to become a better athlete. It doesn't matter what level you're typically playing at, the speed of play and the physicality is just naturally going to be better because you're coming in as a 17, 18-year-old and you're playing against a 20, 21-year-old team, like my team itself, we had most of my kids were 18, but a lot of 18-year-olds playing against a lot of teams that had junior and senior laden teams. And that was a big difference for them. They had to realize, oh, I do need to go in the weight room and I do need to get stronger so I can handle a hit or I can, maybe run past someone a little bit quicker. But the flip side too is being able to put the time in on your own, especially at our level. As coaches, we can't be there all the time with them, but we still expect our athletes to go, on an interval run on their own, go get touches on their own, go play on their own, go lift on their own, because just Division III world, we can't force them to do that. But where they're coming from, where they're going from high school to club or club to club, playing in the fall and the spring an entire year with that same coach, that they're used to their coach asking them to do it rather than them being the ones to do it on their own.
Yeah. That's another thing I got to figure out how I want to explore is that difference, and sort of when they make that jump, what are those intangibles that they don't have necessarily to prepare themselves for the collegiate game.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, looks like, you're good. It's okay. So this is more about Muskingum because I was there back in the 80s, and this is before the competitive wars between all the schools, and that they were building and trying to improve, and they would get one guy would get the rock wall, and then, hey, I'm going to do a coffee bar, and sort of which we never had. It was like, you got the cafe, you got grilled cheese. You want grilled cheese? Anyhow, and we played on a grass field. But I did notice, I was looking around because, again, it's sort of nostalgic for me now. that Muskingum is committed. I mean, let's be honest, like a lot of cash to build, develop, and and enhance the existing facilities. So I don't know if this is the right name for it, the Bullock Health and Wellness Complex, but I think you mentioned
Yep.
North Athletic Turf, which is going to be
Yes.
your home or is
Yes.
your home.
That is where we play. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, how important is that stuff as for how important is that for you? Like, how important is that for when you bring talent on campus to be able to show, like, look, this is the commitment we're making to athletes outside of just being a soccer player. Now you're going to be exposed to all this.
Yeah, I think it's crucial. I think especially the athletes that we're going after now, where, they might be looking at, let's just say, a Denison, or they might even be looking at a smaller D1 where they have really great athletic facilities. And the fact that Muskingum and our administration has put, like you said, all the money and the time in to get these our facilities developed. And, we've had the North Turf for, I think it might be 4 or 5 years now. Up there, it's a lighted turf field. We have one of those jumbotron where you can like get your picture up on the scoreboard. And we all know Ohio weather. Well, north weather is hit or miss sometimes, and to have a turf field is great. To know if it's raining, we're still playing or we're still practicing. The athletes love to see that. And then, like you hit on it there, our health and wellness center, it's going to be immaculate. And the fact that we did that through COVID, the project started in May of 2020, and they didn't stop. Where other schools were, let's save our money, let's do this. Our administration realized the importance of it, and how it was going to impact the community, the academic side, because there's going to be, labs in there for our nursing majors or for our exercise science majors, impact the campus itself to have more facilities for exercising, whether that be treadmills, bikes, and things like that are going to be in there. And then obviously the big one, athletics, because it's going to have full-size indoor track that our track team has never had a home indoor facility. They've made do with the indoor what we have now, where they go outside when it's cold. So they're going to be able to get helped and get better. And then there's what you don't see too often. We have about 60 yards of turf inside of that track. So now, not just soccer, but all the other field teams are going to be able to hop on that turf.
Yeah.
And our
indoors
program indoors.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow.
Our program is just going to be able to lace their cleats up when they come inside, rather than putting indoor and playing futsal. And then the other really nice thing is the North Turf is just us and the men's soccer play on that in the fall. Football has their own turf. So, we don't have to share with the football team, where you don't see that too often either. And that's our own space. Now, lacrosses play up there in the spring, but in the fall, that's soccer. That's a soccer. Yeah. And I think that is a really big thing that recruits like to see when they're looking at campuses.
I've I talked to and been to a lot of different places and try to record when I'm there. And I've been saying for a while, and now that I see it at these different schools, the more I believe it, is that I think the competitive landscape is such as if you want to be in that, call it rarefied air, and be a program that you could say, like, this is an elite program. I think by and large, one of the key pieces to that, and certain circumstances, it's going to be different, right? Like NYU, how that's a little bit more difficult for NYU, and Johns Hopkins is kind of in that boat, but is having their own, what that you could say, right? Their own soccer house.
Yeah.
And I watch the OAC games, and I see my alma mater playing on the football field, right? Like, and I can't get over they're playing on a football field, and it's very, and maybe that's old school to me, but that to me, I saw that and I was like, oh, maybe I can, maybe I could apply for admission to Muskingum under a different name and get 4 more years of eligibility.
If you come back to check out Mount Union, you should come down the road and check out our facilities and see it for yourself.
I'm definitely going to, because when we played Muskingum, I remember, I think it's it's a parking lot now next to, it was right,
we still have the grass field. We
Yeah,
still
yeah.
have it. So
Yeah.
like our turf is here, and then the
Yeah.
grass field that like I think you probably remember playing on is directly next to it.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Oh,
which is another thing too. If we go play a grass team, we have a grass
grass
field.
field. Yeah.
So we have a lot of space and a lot of
gosh.
resources
Yeah.
that is great, is amazing
Yeah.
for our program.
Yeah, I'll just say, like, that is a huge bonus.
Yeah.
Like, because not a lot of schools have that.
Yeah.
They're anyhow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was impressed with that. So you have two, well, I thought it was three, but two seniors that are graduating. Is this changing how many you're bringing into your freshman class?
No, no. I was under the impression my first, I don't even know, maybe 5 years, we're gonna have a bigger class, whether it anywhere between 10 and 12, because that's going to help jumpstart to change that competitiveness and how we're competing. So yeah, no, with the smaller class graduating, we currently have 9. We're looking to add a couple, maybe 2, 3 more in our freshman class coming in. And so, yeah, I think that's going to be a constant for the next 4 or 5 years, to be somewhere around that level, so that we get those right athletes, and we can have the roster size of 30 people with the competitive people in it.
Yeah. And so how's your recruiting class looking so far? I mean, you said 9.
9, pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the ones we have committed and the ones that we kind of have out there, if we can get those ones committed, would fit in really, really well with our freshmen and our young side of our team, and what we're returning in the fall, to grow and get better and better.
Yeah. That's awesome. Love to hear it.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the best way for someone to get your attention, both in terms of getting in touch with you, but also like, hey, I want to show you how good I am?
Yeah, definitely email. Email's huge, which they can find that on our athletics website. Let us know what showcases that they're playing in. We on our social media pages, you can see what showcases we are going to. So if they went on our Instagram at Muskie W Soccer, they can find the bigger showcases that we're gonna go to. Reach out to us, tell us why Muskingum might be an interest of yours, and make sure you give us our schedule so that we can go and watch you play.
Okay. Let me ask,
and kind of see if your style would fit in with us.
Yeah. Sorry, I got all this stuff going on. Like, we have phone calls. I wonder who that is.
Yep.
Anyhow, sorry. All right, so I'm going to ask you the $1 million question. I am a recruit. I am thinking between Muskingum and Otterbein. Why should I choose to play for you?
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be Otterbein. Doesn't have to be.
Yeah. Why you want to choose Muskingum? I mean, I think I've touched on it, previously here. Is our most important thing is to come away with a great degree. You're going to come away with a great degree because you have faculty on this campus that are going to know you as an individual, and are going to figure out what your niche is within whatever that major is itself, and then find you connections, whether it's a job or an internship in the summer, so that you are truly prepared for that next side of life on that academic side. And then on the athletic side, we are doing a lot of great things here from the administration that I just talked about before. But what is a really neat thing about our program is we have a lot of young athletes playing. And that's something that, again, not many schools typically have. And I'm the type of coach who is going to play the best 11. It doesn't matter what year you are. If you are the best player, you are going to start and you're going to play. And so you're going to come away with kind of having a lot of experience on the field, and then just being a part of our culture, you're going to come away a better leader, because that at the end of the day is my main goal. Is yes, you're going to become a better soccer player, but if you become a better person and a better leader at the end of the day, then I have done my job, and I'm going to put you in positions to, make you feel uncomfortable. So then when the next time you do it, you are comfortable with that, so that you go on that job interview and you know how to present yourself in front of a group. You know that you're confident and that you can do that job at hand. And that's all going to come from being a part of our women's soccer program and the culture that we have.